Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news today. We have some truly electrifying rumors swirling around the Washington Commanders that could reshape their defensive front, and who knows, maybe even turn their season around in a big way. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing with speculation about a potential blockbuster trade involving none other than Trey Hendrickson, the edge rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals. Yes, you heard that right. The Commanders are reportedly in talks to acquire Hendrickson, and this could be one of the most significant moves of the season for the franchise. Now, let me walk you through all the details, the numbers, the context, and what this could mean for Washington's future. First off, let's set the scene. Trey Hendrickson, at 30 years old, is a proven pass rusher with a knack for getting to the quarterback. His numbers are impressive, especially in recent seasons. In 2025 alone, he played just 8 games but managed to rack up 5 sacks, which is quite remarkable considering the limited playing time. He also recorded 42 pressures, 7 tackles for loss, and maintained a stellar PFF grade of 91. What's particularly notable about Hendrickson is his consistency and ability to generate pressure without needing to be double-teamed constantly. His win rate of 29% and his 15 quarterback hits showcase how disruptive he can be. And crucially, he's been remarkably durable, with no significant injuries so far in his career. When you compare Hendrickson to other top-tier pass rushers, he's right there among the best. Over his career, he's accumulated more than 50 sacks, and his PFF grade of 89.3 reflects his high level of play. His average pressures per game hover around 6.2, which is elite for an edge rusher. Think about what that means for a defense. A player who consistently forces the quarterback into bad throws, hurried decisions, and sacks. Hendrickson's ability to rush the passer, especially in speed rush situations, is one of his biggest strengths. His success rate in beating double teams, around 25%, is also impressive, making him a constant threat on every snap. Now, why would the Commanders be interested in trading a second-round pick in the 2026 draft for Hendrickson? Well, let's look at the bigger picture. The Bengals, currently sitting at a 4-4 record, are in a position where they might be willing to trade Hendrickson. They have around $6.8 million in cap space and a fair amount of flexibility in their contracts, which means they could move Hendrickson without too many financial constraints. Their defense has been somewhat inconsistent, giving up roughly 24 points per game, and they're also trying to rebuild their offensive line and improve their overall team depth. Trading Hendrickson could provide them with some much-needed cap relief and draft capital, especially if they're looking to rebuild or retool their defense for the future. From the Washington side, the motivation is clear. The Commanders are currently 3-5, and their pass rush has been somewhat inconsistent. The recent injuries to Jahan Jackson and Chase Armstrong have left gaps in their defense, especially in terms of pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Adding a player like Hendrickson could significantly fill those gaps. His presence on the line would elevate the entire defensive front, creating pressure that could lead to more sacks, turnovers, and overall disruptive plays. The impact of Hendrickson on the Commanders' defense could be transformative. If he joins, projections suggest he could add around 14 sacks just for this season, along with roughly 20 pressures, which would elevate the defensive line's effectiveness to a new level. Think about how Hendrickson's addition could change the dynamics of this team's pass rush. Currently, the Commanders' sacks per game are decent, but not elite. Hendrickson's proven ability to rush the passer, especially in third-down situations, could turn their defense into a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks. His stats, such as a 22% hurry rate and a 25% double-team beat rate, highlight his explosiveness and ability to win one-on-one battles. When you compare him to other current edge rushers, Hendrickson averages about 3-1 pressures per game and around 1.5 sacks per season, which makes him an instant upgrade at that position. His addition could push the Commanders' defense to reduce opponents' scoring average by approximately 7 points per game, a massive turnaround. Now, let's put this into perspective with the bigger NFL picture. The Commanders are already on the rise in terms of Super Bowl odds, moving from +12-0 to +5-0, which is a significant jump. That increase in odds reflects how much a dominant pass rush can influence postseason success. Historically, teams with fierce pass rushes tend to perform better in the playoffs, especially against high-caliber teams with elite quarterbacks. Think about the impact of a player like Max Crosby, or in recent years, the Steelers' defensive front, known for their relentless pressure. Hendrickson could be that X-factor for Washington, especially in high-stakes moments when the game is on the line. One of the critical reasons this move makes sense is because of the potential to elevate Washington's defense to a top-tier unit. If Hendrickson joins, the team's sack total could jump by around 14 sacks, which is enormous considering the current state of their pass rush. With his addition, the defensive line could become a terror, reminiscent of other dominant units that have carried teams deep into the postseason. It's no secret that a top pass rush puts pressure on quarterbacks, leads to turnovers, and ultimately scores points on the board. The Commanders' defense with Hendrickson could become a nightmare for offenses, especially in the NFC East, where division rivals like the Eagles and Cowboys rely heavily on their pass attack. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could also have a profound impact on the Commanders' playoff chances. Their odds of making a deep run improve significantly with a top-tier pass rush. Hendrickson's presence could be the difference-maker in close games, especially against elite quarterbacks. His ability to generate pressure and sacks not only disrupts the passing game, but also opens opportunities for turnovers and quick scores. When you analyze the potential stats, Hendrickson could add about 20 pressures and 14 sacks over the course of the remaining season, boosting the overall defensive efficiency by about 8 points in PFF grade, which is a huge leap. Let's also consider the strategic aspect. The Commanders have been trying to rebuild their defense around young players like Chase Armstrong and others, but injuries and inconsistency have hampered their progress. Bringing in a veteran like Hendrickson, who has been a consistent producer, could serve as both a boost on the field and a mentorship role for the younger guys. His experience, leadership, and ability to perform under pressure are invaluable assets they need right now. Plus, his style of play aligns perfectly with what the Commanders want: a relentless speed rusher who can win on the outside and help contain mobile quarterbacks or set the edge against the run. But of course, there are some questions from the Bengals' side. They're cautious about cap space, with around $6.8 million available, and they're also dealing with some defensive vulnerabilities, allowing about 24 points per game. Critics argue that trading Hendrickson could hurt their pass rush, especially since their defensive line has been somewhat leaky. They might worry about losing a player who has been a reliable force on the edge, especially as they also look to develop young talent and address other positional needs. The trade, while promising, could also lead to a loss of experience and leadership that Hendrickson provides, which could impact their future defensive schemes and overall team chemistry. For Washington, though the motivation is clear, they see Hendrickson as a key piece to finally push their defense over the edge. With the injuries to Jackson and Armstrong creating gaps, adding a proven pass rusher could fill those voids and turn the tide of the season. His projection of adding around 14 sacks and 20 pressures is nothing short of game-changing. This move could propel the Commanders from a decent defense to a top-5 unit, making them a true contender in the NFC. And let's not forget, we're talking about the playoffs here. The NFL playoffs are all about winning battles in the trenches, and Hendrickson's addition could be that final piece that makes all the difference. His impact is expected to be similar to what Khalil Mack brought to the Chargers in their playoff push last season, an unstoppable force that quarterbacks fear and offenses have to game plan around. The Commanders' defense, which currently sits at around the 20th in the league in sacks, could see that number skyrocket with Hendrickson's arrival. This, in turn, could translate into more wins, a better standing in the NFC, and a real shot at making a deep postseason run. Now looking at the Super Bowl odds, this move could be a game changer. The odds currently at +12, 0 could tighten significantly, perhaps to +5, 0, or even better if Hendrickson's impact is as expected. That's a massive boost for any team trying to make a statement in January. It's similar to what we've seen with other teams that have invested heavily in their pass rush late in the season. Those units become playoff nightmares. The addition of Hendrickson could be the X-factor that elevates Washington from a team on the bubble to genuine contenders, especially if he can replicate or even surpass his recent production. And as we wrap up this deep dive, it's important to highlight the potential historical significance of this move. If it materializes, it could be one of the most impactful trades in recent NFL history for a team in Washington's position. A player like Hendrickson isn't just a rental. He's a difference maker who can help the team reach the Lombardi Trophy. With the right coaching, scheme fit, and a little bit of luck, this could be the move that propels Washington into the upper echelon of NFL defenses. So what do you, the fans, think about this? Are you excited about the possibility of Hendrickson donning the burgundy and gold? Do you believe he's the missing piece for a playoff push and perhaps even a Super Bowl run? Or are you skeptical about the risks involved, especially given the Bengals' cautious stance and the potential loss of a key veteran? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion truly matters to us and to the future of the Washington Commanders. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, analyses, and all the latest news from the NFL and Washington Commanders. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and let's keep supporting our team in every way possible. Until next time.